Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Vinny Cuz here. And this video is going to cover the last 2 weeks of my Uber earnings. We're going to talk about what I'm seeing out there on the road. And also, we're going to take a look at their stock today, both Uber and Lyft, and see what we can come up with. Um, yeah, it's slow. Too slow. So as we always do, we're going to start with the app. You guys know I got it connected to the computer here. Let's go and see. First of all, maintaining my rating, 499, 496, 3010. That's fine. Getting up this acceptance percentage back from New Year's Eve. Still running with 2 cancellations from New Year's Eve. Anyway, all right, let's get into earnings. That's what everybody always wants to know, my earnings. Today's Monday. I have not obviously turned on the app yet. It is MLK Day, so be kind to each other out there. And let's get into last week's earnings. Now, again, I'm still maintaining my position of working events as much as I can, and not really trying to kill a lot of time out there. So here we're at 11 and a half hours online, 339. Kind of works out to $30 an hour, which is decent. I did catch a couple of, and that was from Saturday night. I caught two, do one ride, get $4 extra. Not terrible. Both of those trips are really short. We'll go through that in a minute. Anyway, so Tuesday, I went to a Panther game and I did one ride. You can see I was out there 2 hours and 20 minutes. So what I try to do is I get there early. And the reason why I'm getting there early is because the Panthers are just blowing people off the ice right now. So you're catching people before the game is over. Like there are people leaving at halftime. And I'm going to show you from Friday night how I was able to catch two rides out of there. Anyway, we're there. I caught one trip. It was, I believe, a Premier ride. And it went from the BB&T to Fort Lauderdale Beach. No big deal. Nice little tip, $51. So the ROI or per hour is not that great on here. But here's the thing, right? After I gave that ride, and I know it's Tuesday night, but we're talking Fort Lauderdale in the winter. I drove around, like legit. Went down Las Olas, A1A, all the way up to Commercial. Came back out to US1, came all the way south. So even though I only got the one trip, it's the only time the damn thing pinged. And I probably wasted a solid 45 minutes driving around trying to get a ride. Never a good thing. All right, so Wednesday, 2 short trips, an hour and a half online. Had a private client, took care of that client. This ran me from Fort Lauderdale Airport to Boca. Turned on the apps, caught a couple of quick trips. Pardon me. Pardon me again. We'll cut that out. Oh, Lord. So I caught 2 trips after I dropped that client off, made my day. Not really a big money maker. But here's the thing. Again, after I got done with those 2 trips, I drove from Boca all the way to my location where I live. That was about a 40-minute ride. And after those 2 trips, no pings. Friday. Friday, you see only an hour and 45 minutes online. Friday nights are never good for me for whatever reason, unless there's an event. And here, there just happened to be an event. So I got there to the BB&T or Florida Live Arena, whatever the hell it is this week. And as soon as I turned on the app, I got there right at the end of the second period. Panthers were blowing them out. I think at that point it was like 5-1 at intermission. I got a ping. Short ride, didn't go far. Was a father and his 3 kids, middle of Fort Lauderdale. Came back because the game was still going. But the entire time from downtown Fort Lauderdale all the way down the 595 corridor to the arena, app was on. No pings. Riding on XL and Premier, and I even had Lyft on for XL. There were no pings. This was Friday night, I don't know, we'll say about 8:30, 8:45. Not good. Anyway, came back as soon as I pulled into to the area, Got another ping, went south, 4 Canadian people, and yeah, that was it. Rode with the never turned the apps off, never even turned Lyft off, which I normally do. Right? If I got Uber on and I catch a request, I'll shut the other app off. But I forgot to do it. No pings for me. No pings. They don't like me. I don't know. All right, and then Saturday, Saturday we got out. It's pretty decent. This is where I caught the one trip for $4 extra after 11 p.m. in Fort Lauderdale. Again, after 11 p.m. in Fort Lauderdale, you know there are no drivers out because there are no people out. Best I could do, this was 11 p.m. I think to 3 a.m. for every single trip you did in this area, which they never give us bonuses up in the Fort Lauderdale area. You catch an extra $4. That's all I caught. Now, to be fair, at 1:15 I had to shut the apps off. I had an emergency client, 2 a.m. round trip to MIA and back up into Oakland Park. So obviously I didn't work that long. Anyway, 4 hours, 50. So 5 hours, $191, right? You do the math. Not that great an ROI, but still, we started off with an event at the Panther game, which was early. Got a ride out of there, and then we worked till 1 a.m. The week before, 9 hours, $230. Like this again, it's just not there. I worked an event here, one trip, hour 22 minutes, 61.73. It's good money. Came out on Saturday night, a little over 6 hours, 9 trips, only $169. I mean, and I'm working the good areas, right? Now, I did pick up on something, and I really don't want to give that away, but let's just put it this way. If you're going to be out driving Uber and Lyft and you're trying to make some money, and you're not going to work events, make sure you go to the areas where there is money at. And if you don't know what I mean by that, go to your very affluent areas, downtowns, neighborhoods. And I'm going to leave it at that. Okay. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to bring up is I wanted to talk a little bit about, and let me find it here. I wanted to bring up the stock prices, right? You guys know this is an Uber channel and now becoming a trading channel. And I wanted to bring up Uber and Lyft stock prices lately. And the reason why I want to bring this up is because, at least for me, Fort Lauderdale area, there's not a lot of, the rides just aren't there. And if the rides aren't there, right, and the pings aren't there, and I'm talking to other drivers that are saying, man, it's pretty slow, except for those guys up in North Boca, Delray, those guys are doing okay. But down here, it's tough. If the rides aren't there, they're not making money. And if they're not making money, you got to ask, well, how's their stock price doing, right? And as we can see here, 52-week low, right? Just hit December 15th for Lyft. It was like 36.25, something like that. But this yellow line, this is called a support resistance line. This is their total chart since they've been trading publicly. And if you look, we got in the past, right? This was back on September 9th of 2019. Hit this area, bounced off, broke below it, hit it again, bounced down, finally broke above it. What you're seeing here is you're seeing little spots that are consistent, right? They're just consistent with where price tends to react favorably or unfavorably. And you can see there's another one here. Bring it up for you, right? Once it broke below this support line, this resistance line, it stayed down there. Now, to be fair, this was when the pandemic started. And so it stayed down, it struggled until it found its footing. It broke above it, stayed up for a little bit, came back down to that spot, and then shot up. But since mid-March of 2021, Lyft and Uber, I'm going to show the Uber chart in the middle, have been on a downtrend. So what that means to tell me, with all the news you're hearing about Uber and Lyft and what their future projections are, right now, if I was a betting man, if I were a betting man, once it broke, you can see here again, support bounced off. Even though it didn't make it here, you got to consider that a bounce off. Support, bounce back up, support, bounce back up. But look here, November of 2021, going into the holiday season, where it should be the busiest, the stock is failing. And if you go back and you look at your earnings since mid-November, with events, at least down here where I'm at, even though events are picking up, a ton of rides are still not there. And so we see that it starts coming back up here towards the new year, right? December 27th, December 28th. It gets there and it can't break above that support area. If you're a stock trader, if you're looking to invest long time in Lyft, I'd watch this come back somewhere between $36 and $37, and you can jump into it and you'll have a good opportunity to at least get up to that $43 level. Same thing with Uber. Again, these are on daily charts. We can see with Uber what's going on there. Again, all-time low, March of 2020. Broke above this resistance line. Okay. 1, 2, 3 points. So that's a good support resistance area. Broke above it November of 20, going into the holiday season of 2020, it shot up. Got all the way there till about that same time, February of 2021, which is when rides typically fall off for us down here, tourist season. But here we go, another downward trend. Another downward trend. A day or two, it broke above, but then it rejects right back down. Low of the 52-week rolling low, it's about $35. It's funny, if you remember, Lyft always had about a 10 to 15% higher price on their stock. Now, the reason for that is because Lyft doesn't have as many shares out in the public as Uber does, right? Uber's running about 5 times the amount of shares. But at the same breath, right now, Uber and Lyft, if you look up here, right, 41.51, well, you can look right here. All of a sudden, stock prices are about the same. Even though Uber, for the longest time, their stock price lagged behind Lyft because of the amount of shares. What's this tell you? Lyft is not doing as well as it was in the past. Anyway, again, we're going to look to see it bounced off here at this support. We'll just catch it all right there, just for a general reference. But now it broke below this 3808 seems to be the long-running support trend line. Again, if I were a betting man, I see Lyft coming back down to this $38 level. Then we'll take a look at it and see if it rejects and comes down to its 52-week low. So that you know, and I'm going to bring this other chart in here. I'm going to try to line it up for you here. We have earnings coming up, right? We got earnings coming up. This is Uber. When we look at their earnings reports over their public life, we'll call it, you can see where it says, well, green, because it was a surprise. They made 2 cents more than they thought they were. But losing money, minus 68 cents a share. Losing money, minus 64 cents a share. Losing money, and so forth and so on. This one time they made money was back in the summer of 21. But if you look at the stock price, here we go, summer of 21. Again, falling down. And their last earnings report, again, losing money. I think Uber and Lyft, their models, and while they're charging the riders, and we all know we can look at our earnings, while they're charging these riders a lot more money for basic rides and keeping the drivers kind of suppressed. I hate to use that word, but it's a reality. Because when's the last time we got a raise? They're losing ridership. Their business model is starting to fail. Uber has all these other features, Lyft is a one-trick pony. It's a ride company, right? Now, I will say this about Lyft. They're trying to make deals, and Uber as well, with medical offices and trying to get people to their locations and stuff like that. But those rides now become subsidized, I'm sure, either by the doctor offices or the Fed government with medical movement. Which, listen, anyway, the point is, Lyft is a one-trick pony. Hence, another reason why their stock price is falling. And Uber, with all their Uber Eats and all of these things, I don't know if you guys saw it, the commercial with Domino's, where they said they went out and bought all these competitor gift cards. And when you ordered a Domino's pizza, you would get a gift card to a local restaurant. And with that gift card, you could buy your food. And it was subsidizing those restaurants that are getting killed by Uber Eats fees. The pandemic, these rideshare companies did great. And it wasn't necessarily from rides. But as we're adjusting, as half the country is still under some kind of lockdown or mandate or whatever you want to call it, people just aren't moving. Here in Florida, where we are as wide open as you can get, even our cruise industry hasn't come back yet. So I know I'm ranting and raving a little bit, but I just want you guys to be aware of that. Again, Uber Technologies, you can see here, 52-week range, 34 to 64. That's almost a 50% difference. I would wait to see if this bounces off. If it breaks through, 38.98. If it continues down, I'd be looking for some more downside to $34. And at that point, if you want to still invest in the company, you can. All right. So with all of that, let me get all my stuff out of here. And I think we're going to call it a day. Where's that? Bing! Yeah, we're going to call it a day. All right. Thanks for joining. As you can see, do your best. Remember, try to work events. Try to work the really affluent areas. And just make that money. Peace out.